Hello, friends.
Hi.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
We've had a busy couple of weeks.
that's an understatement.
So we are recording this video from Costa Rica. We made it.
I know. It's crazy.
Can you believe we're here?
No, I can't.
We've officially been here for a week. We're sitting in our bedroom, looking out at the jungle, and just past the jungle is the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't think reality has set in yet.
No. I think I've started to settle a little bit and it feels like real life, but I think the reality of just how far away from home we are hasn't quite set in yet.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
So we wanted to just record a video to talk to you a little bit about the struggles of uprooting our lives and moving to a Central American country and some of the lessons that we've learned over the last couple of weeks.
And since it's only been a week, I'm sure we will have to update
Yeah.
as things go along. More
But there's
things will come
definitely
up
stuff
for
that's
sure.
fresh on our mind right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So for the last couple of weeks, what's been let's do the worst and then the best. Like what's been the most difficult thing for you and also the thing that you've enjoyed the most?
Okay, I would say the most stressful thing to me was packing to come here.
Oh, yes.
That was super stressful, mainly because it's not that we have just magically come into an immense amount of money for us to be able to do this. We're making a ton of sacrifices in order to do this. I quit my job, so we've lost that income. And we're having to pay really close attention to our budget. And transporting things to Costa Rica can get really expensive. And so we had 3 suitcases, 3 large suitcases, 2 carry-ons, 2 personal items, and then Aurora's diaper bag that we had to fit
And
our
a stroller.
and a stroller and a
and
car
a pack
seat
and play.
and a pack and play.
We had
All
so
the
many.
baby
We had
stuff.
so many bags. Aurora's stuff took up like half of our luggage.
It more than half.
Yeah, it was insane. Just
Yeah,
bringing a baby somewhere like this takes a lot.
but to fly, we had to be under a certain weight limit.
50 pounds per suitcase.
50 pounds per suitcase. And if it was more than that, the price per bag jumped up exponentially. It was way more expensive if you were even 51 pounds. And so I spent 3 days before we left doing a lot of rearranging, redistributing, weighing a bag here, weighing a bag there, having to pull stuff out and decide, do I want this? Do I not want this? Can I let this go? And the expectations that I had in my head of things that we were going to be able to bring, I had to quickly check because there were a lot of things that I wanted to bring that just didn't make the cut. We felt like the handcart pioneers, where we only had a certain amount of weight that we could have in our handcart.
Our little wagon.
We had to throw out the piano and we couldn't take it with us. That was really stressful for me.
Yeah, and it kind of came all the way up to crunch time, like even just a couple hours before we left, we were still moving things
Weighing
around, trying to make sure that we had everything needed and that it all fit. And they would let us in on the plane without charging us lots of money.
So as soon as we got there and we were wearing our bags, they were like 50 pounds on the dot. And I was extremely proud of myself.
Within like a pound. It was amazing.
I was so proud of myself.
You did an incredible job with that.
That was hard. And I think that because of that, I was really irritable. That's the truth. I was very irritable. I was very impatient with Nate because me being able to do that required him packing, and he was stressed in and of itself trying to figure out what equipment to bring and what equipment not to bring because his work requires a lot of cameras and microphones and computer stuff and heavy things. So I had to wait on him.
I had to leave a lot
to
of
get
toys
packed, and he did.
Yeah,
he did. His setup here is way scaled down to what it was
but
back
it still
at home.
looks great.
It's still great. It still works well.
Okay, so now what was the best thing? Like, what's your favorite thing from the last couple of weeks?
I think my favorite thing, aside from just getting here, has been how I've been able to really slow down my routine. Because before at home, I worked and I had Aurora, and that was really stressful. And my schedule was so sporadic that I wasn't able to fall into a really great routine. And the first thing that went was keeping the house clean.
And taking care of yourself.
And taking care of myself. Taking care of my environment and my body. And a lot of that fell onto Nate, doing the dishes and cleaning, and he was busy with work, and so our house was just always in complete disarray. And I've noticed since being here, I've been able to keep our little house impeccably
I've
clean.
loved that so much. You've been so amazing.
We don't have a dishwasher. And
I don't want to insinuate that I'm not pulling my weight here, but
no, he is. I just feel like I
you
finally
are,
have,
for the first time in a long time, you're cleaning up more messes than you're making.
Yes.
We'll say that.
That is true. But it's felt really nice to have a clean environment, because I think having the house in such disorganization for the last few months, we moved out of our townhome and moved all of our stuff into his parents' basement.
And it was madness.
Just for months. And I feel like my outward environment really impacts my mental health, and having it in complete disarray also made my emotions in complete disarray.
Yeah.
And I felt much more calm and at peace because things have been so clean. Mm-hmm. And I've had to get innovative because we don't have all the luxuries that we had at home. And it's been nice. Yeah. I felt really good about it.
What is something that you think people get wrong about this whole thing that we're going through? Like an assumption that people make?
I think a big assumption that people make, well, going back, one of the reasons that we moved to Costa Rica, I think a lot of it was running away, I guess you could say, from our problems.
Taking some space.
And even though we're like thousands and thousands of miles away, our problems just come with us. You can't just run away from your problems. If you're a high anxiety person and you decide to move to Costa Rica, it's not like your anxiety is going to magically go away. If there's something going on in your relationship, it's not going to magically go away. In fact, it's probably going to be magnified, which we've definitely noticed the last week.
Yeah, for sure.
Any annoyances are just going to be magnified. So I would say if you're going to take this leap to move away, to take a break, to take some space, that's great. But also recognize that there's going to be some work involved in that, and it's not just going to magically make your problems all go away.
Yeah. That's a great myth to bust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just as many problems in Costa Rica as there are in Utah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
As far as, like, personally. Yeah. What about you?
What about me? What?
I want to hear what's been the worst thing, what's been the best thing, and a myth that you want to bust.
All right. So, worst thing for me, watching grandparents say goodbye to Aurora was really hard.
That was really hard.
And then also, I think that this was like a simultaneous, like a fun thing and a really difficult thing, was getting rid of all of our stuff. So it doesn't matter, like it's just an inherent fact of life that when you live somewhere, you're going to accrue stuff, you know, that easy one-click to buy button on Amazon is so convenient, and
it is so convenient.
Having a Target and a Walmart and grocery stores close by, and anytime you need something, you can just like run to the store and get it. Like over time, you're just going to start acquiring things, and I think that one of the hardest things was just coming to terms with how much stuff we had, and trying to figure out why we had it all, and then also trying to get rid of stuff that there's that question in the back of your head of, are we going to need this one day? Like, will we need this again? What do we save and what do we get rid of? And the process of selling stuff that we didn't want or giving it away was just like arduous and grueling and exhausting. And like, it's nice to have kind of done, but it was not an easy thing to do by any stretch of the imagination.
Can I say something about that? I think it's important also as well, another myth to bust is chasing after your dreams and doing something adventurous like this, it doesn't mean that it's going to be like all roses and easy.
Yeah.
Chasing after your dreams, there's going to be a lot of obstacles in the way, and it's not going to be easy. And I think we could have easily thrown in the towel, because as soon as we decided to come, it's not like everything magically fell into place. The things that mattered did.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of really arduous, difficult obstacles lots of government paperwork that we had to go through in order to get here. And following your dreams requires some of that difficult stuff. Anyways.
And that would be the myth that I would bust. So I'll bust the myth and then I'll talk about my favorite thing. So the myth that I would bust is a lot of people assume that we have like a lot of resources and we just like are so wealthy that we can go move to a beach condo in Costa Rica, and that's just not true. To be honest with you, we're spending less money now than we were living in the States, and so that's really nice. The truth of the matter is that the reason most people don't do what we're doing is because I just had a conversation about this today. You get entrenched in your life. You get anchored places. Your kids make friends and they get into school, or you buy a house and fill it with all your stuff and you don't know what to do with all your stuff, or you have friends and family that you don't want to part with, or a job that you're really attached to. And that attachment keeps you anchored into a place. And what we were able to do when Angeline quit her job was kind of sever the ties with those anchors in some way. And sometimes it's not a permanent severing. It's a temporary thing. And sometimes it just means your relationships are going to change. But I think anybody who really wants to make a big change like this to their life, whether it's to move somewhere or, change careers, go back to school, any big drastic change is totally possible. It just requires you to detach a little bit from the stereotypical things that kind of keep you planted and rooted in a place or a phase of life. Sure. I think that there's something really renewing. There's something really important about being able to kind of relinquish your attachment to the circumstances that you're in and give yourself kind of a new start, like a phoenix rising from the ashes or ashes. or a baptism, if you will, like just giving yourself a fresh start. But that also doesn't come without its challenges, and it really is hard to say goodbye to the things and the people and the habits and the places that you love. So
anytime you close a chapter of life, there's going to be a grieving process.
Yeah.
You're going to mourn the chapter that you were in, and that's a normal part of it, I think.
Yeah. My favorite thing that I've experienced since being here, it has been morning beach walks. Like every morning I wake up around 6:30 and I walk down the road 2.5-3 minutes and I'm on the beach and I just walk a couple miles and I watch the surfers and I let the water wash up over my feet and ankles, and sometimes I go take a swim and I listen to a book, and it's been a dream of mine since I was a kid to live at the beach, and now here we are doing it, and I'm really trying to soak up every moment of that that's possible. And also, we're already meeting really cool people.
Yes.
Like, just the realization that you might have good people in your life right now, but when you pack your bags and do something crazy like what we're doing, it's amazing how many incredible people just land in your lap, and they might actually be the people that you need the most. Yeah. So I definitely think that we've scored in that regard, that some amazing people have shown up in our lives, and they're already helping us through this transition period, and they'll be lifelong friends. So
for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's where we're at right now. I would say we're not fully settled in yet.
Definitely
I don't
not.
think even reality has set in, but we've definitely made some progress. Can we talk just for a minute about some of the maybe struggles that we faced in the first week or so here? What would you say has been your like in our relationship, one of the hard things?
I've noticed that we've both, me particularly, have been really short with each other. Just really irritable with each other, quick to anger, quick to frustration. You talk a lot about the poop colored glasses, and I think that I, for one, have been wearing them over the last
just the first day when we got here.
Yeah.
We got to our place and she was just so bummed. It didn't meet her expectations initially.
What's the term when, like, even neutral interactions are interpreted as negative?
Negative sentiment override.
Negative sentiment override. That was me times 1,000 this week, I think. Even
here I am like, we're right by the beach. This is so exciting. And we have 3 bedrooms and Like,
Yeah.
we have everything that we need here, and
I felt a little smothered by
my enthusiasm.
Nate's expectations of my reaction to being here. I think that Nate had expectations of how it would be when we got here. I had expectations of how it would be here when we got here. And I think we were both disappointed in different ways. For me, I have lived a very lucky life in that I've lived very comfortably. I've had modern luxuries. I've had dishwashers. I've had washing machines, air conditioning, really nice, up-to-date houses. And for some reason, I had in my head an idea that it would just kind of be the same when we got here, even though I've lived in Central America before, so I knew. But when I got here, it was a little bit of a shock, I think. I had a moment of shock when I walked into our condo, and I was like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
This is nothing.
And the feeling that you're living in someone else's house also, because we are renting really from someone.
And it's fully furnished, which now a week later, and I've kind of been able to process a little bit. This is a phenomenal location. It's really spacious. It's really great. When I first got here, I was really disappointed. It did not meet my expectations, and I struggled a lot with that.
It put you in a crappy mood.
It put me in a very...
And who became the target of the bad mood?
Nate became the target, but I think I also felt really defensive because I wanted space to be able to feel those emotions. I think it's a really normal emotion to have. It's really normal when you move to a completely different place, a completely different culture, for your emotions to be kind of like a roller coaster. And that's exactly how I would describe it. There were moments when I was just completely down in the dumps and oh my gosh, I can't believe we did this. Yeah. And then the next hour I'd be elated and so excited and happy to be here. And then the next hour I would be back down in the dumps. Yeah. Which honestly, I just wanted space to be able to process those emotions.
And this goes back to our very first patterns when we were married.
Yep.
Is when Angeline feels big emotions, she needs space to process them. But when she feels big emotions, it oftentimes makes me feel anxious. I feel like a failure as a partner, or that something's wrong, and it's my job to fix it. And so I want to connect with her and figure out what's going on. Mode. And so I fully accept the responsibility that I was definitely taking your disappointment with the situation very personally and trying to make it better. Are you kidding me? We're here at the beach. What's going on? What's your problem? Let's talk about it. And
I was just leave me alone.
Yeah. And
I just need some space.
We definitely got pulled into some old cycles that we've been working really hard to break for a very long time. But because I think the stress levels were high.
It was easy to fall back into that.
We were tired. It was easy to slip back into that.
Because those are such primal, natural, reactions, and it takes work to override those. And when you do have that high level of stress, it's more difficult to override those reactions.
And to your credit, you're always so good at taking responsibility when you've had some space to decompress and think about things.
Yeah.
You always come out of your funks and you're like, I'm sorry. I was being mean. I wasn't really thinking clearly. I needed some time, and I apologize. And it's always really sweet.
Good.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. I honestly, I feel like I'm really good at working through and processing my emotions. I just need the space to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think I felt like you didn't trust me. And so I was putting on this bulldog persona to protect the person that was underneath that. I was
that makes sense.
Trying to do this tough exterior of I'm fine, I'm okay, to try and convince you to leave me alone or not come near me, like a bulldog.
Well, I appreciate you doing this adventure with me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Thanks.
I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah. So if you are watching and you want to go on a big adventure, what would you say to people?
Do it.
Yeah.
Find a way to do it.
Find a way to do it. Life's short.
There's always going to be an excuse not to. Yeah. So do it.
So go on your big adventure. Yeah. Might not be everything you dreamed, but it will be some of what you dreamed. And also there will be stuff that shows up that wasn't even in your dream that's even
Right.
better.
Yep.
So we're loving it so far, and we'll definitely keep you updated.
Oh, I'm sure there will be so many updates.
We'll show you around Tamarindo when we get settled and kind of get acquainted with the town.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for caring about our Costa Rica journey. If you want to hear more Costa Rica news, just let us know in the comments, because well, that's just a great way to let us know that what you want to hear more of.
Maybe we'll do a Q&A if you have any questions that you want to ask about
Good idea.
about what it was like, the logistics of what it took to get here. I think it would be great to do a Q&A. And then 6 months from now, we'll do another one.
There you go. Okay, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.